Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to League One Predictions with Very Biased Opinions. I'm Tom, this is Ian, and before we get started and thank our Patreon viewers, we need to look at how last week went. Ian, how did last week go?
Not good.
No, Ian got trounced. A 7-3 victory. I am greatness personified, and I am greatness because of my backing of Burton Albion, the greatest football club in the land, outside, of course, of Tranmere. Now, it's time to get started, but before we do, let me thank our Patreon backers. Thank you, Matt Uranka from GRANDSTAND Bettors, PJ Simpson, Matthew Bowden, and Pessimistic Brother Alan. We love you guys. Please check us out on Patreon. It's huge support to us, and it helps to pay for this channel.
Would you say they're a Fantastic Four?
They are the Fantastic Four.
Who's the Invisible Woman?
PJ Simpson.
Oh, it's terrible.
I've never seen him, so... Anyway, enough of this. It's Accrington Stanley versus Unnamed Football Club.
I actually loved how you did that. Thomas, Accrington Stanley are imploding. Before my eyes.
Yeah, it's not great.
They're in the relegation zone yet? They should be, aren't they?
How did you know, Ian? And just let's clarify. By imploding, they're 5 points off the playoff place. And they're above Oxford United. So, clearly falling apart.
Okay. Anything else to say?
I am sad that they lost to Ipswich Town. It's been a tough run for them recently. They've lost 2 of their last 4, which doesn't fill you with faith in this, as opposed to the Unnamed Football Club, who did have a really good win last week, but have followed that up with a loss to Sunderland Town, but they are still out of the relegation zone. And in this match, I suspect they will lose 2-0 to Stanley.
I am going to copy your score because nobody wants to see the club that shall not be named getting anything. And as much as I'm not a massive fan of Accrington, I want them to win this one. Hull City versus Bristol Rovers.
Just when you think Hull City are out of it, they pull off a victory. They're back into second place. I'm sure the fans still want the manager's head, but they're playing some pretty, what I believe is called decent football. They beat Ian's favourite club, Rochdale, 2-0. And the other team in this fixture, Bristol Rovers, are now managed by Joey, I'm a Bastard, Barton. And as such, I cannot back them in any match. And as such, Hull City 2-0.
Yeah, Bristol Rovers are kind of going through a weird kind of win a game, lose a game phase, aren't they, at the moment? And they lost 1-0 to Burton. Man sent off. But everybody's losing to Burton at the moment, so it's not much of a shock there. This is going to be a tough one. It feels like Hull. We're getting back to a good win for them today. 3-1 Hull City.
Blackpool versus AFC Wimbledon.
So when Blackpool were 1-0 up in a game against Crewe, I was thinking, they're in amazing form. They're going to be they've got to be right on the cusp of the playoffs. But they did a Blackpool. They conceded an 86-minute goal, and our friend Matt, the Tangerine. I was going to call him the Tangerine Dream. I don't really think that sounds very good. But the Tangerine Man, there you go, will be absolutely livid at that one. But AFC Wimbledon, I think, also scrambled back to get a decent point for them in their fight for survival. But I think Blackpool will be too strong. A solid win for the pool. I'm going 2-0 Blackpool.
I am going 3-1 Blackpool, and I will say that they have 4 games in hand over 1, 2, 3, at least 4 of the teams above them. They are in with a shout of the playoff places if they can keep this good form going.
No, the only thing is just where do they fit these games in?
William, have you considered that perhaps they could play 4 games in 4 days?
Well, they should. They
should. Nothing bad can come from that.
Oxford will still lose to them on the 4th day. Gillingham versus Ipswich Town.
Ipswich Town, what are you doing? You've sacked the greatest manager in recorded history. Paul Lambert and Ipswich flying up the lead.
Didn't give him a chance.
2 straight wins. They have 2 draws. They're undefeated in 4 matches. They are 2 points off the playoff place, but no, you bring in new leader. I can't do this.
They don't realise it's the guy that got Norwich relegated once.
Fantastic side. Gillingham, though, huge win for them today. 3-2 win over Milton Keynes Dons. This is exactly what I get for talking about how good Milton Keynes Dons are. And this is what Milton Keynes Dons get for playing Oxford, because every side that plays Oxford goes on a losing run afterwards.
They do, don't they? We put the black spot on people's hands.
You do.
A tricky side. It's such a tricky side to play against Gillingham. You really don't know what you're going to get from them. But I think Paul Cook is an excellent appointment for Ipswich Town. I think he's going to do really well there. I thought I can't believe they're so negative with the players that they have, and with the players they've got like Norwood, they should be absolutely killing it in this league. And I would actually be worried for all the other sides who haven't played them yet. Thankfully, Oxford have played them twice, because I think Ipswich will be really going to give this promotion push a good shout now. And I think they'll get a nice, comfortable win over this Gillingham side. I'm going to go 3-1 to Ipswich.
I'm going 2-1, but I will say this now: Ipswich Town, season over, season in tatters, dreadful, sacked manager, awful management, awful, bad. I'm
jumping in because I'm announcing this one because I'm fascinated to know what Tom's going to do here. Burton Albion versus league leaders Peterborough United.
You have to say league leaders because we know how excited I am. Burton are out of the relegation places. 4 wins in their last 5 matches. They have been on absolute fire. At one point 10 games ago, they were like 8 points down. They were cut adrift. They'd played 4 more matches than anyone else, and you just thought, what are they going to do? What they're going to do is give Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank his job back. That man is going to get this club promoted. He is a savant. They're going to be nowhere close to the bottom of the table. They will end this season in 13th place, which is where they belong. In mediocrity incarnate. I am slamming my fist into a desk talking about this. They're going to beat Peterborough United 1-0. They are the greatest side in the League One.
Well, better to slam your hand on a desk than what you usually do when you make your points, which is clap your hands. I've got another thing to say. I'm not interested in talking about Jimmy Floyd, David Hasselhoff, or whatever his name is. I've just watched Oxford play Peterborough, an excellent game of football. They're another side that have won 4 games out of the last 5 games, Thomas. They had won all of them until Oxford brought them back down to earth with a 0-0 draw. A great 0-0. It sounds weird to say, and you'll see my review on that in the top corner. So the attacking talent is just scary. Clark Harris's movement is so good. Thank God he didn't have his shooting boots on. But Dembele and Smodics are just such clever footballers, and when they get the ball, they just look to beat people, and they just create so much space for themselves. And then at the back, they got players like Beavers who are just like solid as a rock defensively, even though you laugh at his name. I've got to go Peterborough. I have to go Peterborough in this one. I'm really worried because Burton are in such good form. But I think partial win. I think it will be a narrow 2-1 win for Peterborough.
Doncaster Rovers versus
Green Army!
Plymouth Argyle.
What a week for Doncaster Rovers, Thomas. It's absolutely with the not sacking, but the fact Paul Lambert left wasn't a shock to anybody because that writing was on the wall for a while. But nobody saw the traitor, the absolute traitor, Darren Moore, jumping ship and going to Sheffield Wednesday. I'm just going to say this now. Doncaster fans, I hope you go up and Sheffield Wednesday go down because that'd be really funny. But Donny were on a shocking run and they actually got a win today. A really good win, actually, over Pompey, which a deserved win by the looks of things as well, which is desperately needed from them. Plymouth have been batshit crazy, and I'll let you talk about them as well because they've had some nutcase results. But I think the fact that Donny needed that win, and I think they'll back that up with another win over Plymouth. And I'm well aware I haven't done any draws this week, but I am going to go for a high-scoring game, actually. I'm going to go for a 3-2 Doncaster win.
Before we go any further, it's 2-3 to Plymouth Argyle. Plymouth Argyle are a side that don't know who they are, Ian. It's like they've been in the league for years. It's like they're Blackpool to me. It's win a game, lose a game, draw a game with no level of consistency for the opponent. As long as it's a different game, it's a different result, and they care nothing for anything that surrounds that.
What are you talking about?
They lost 2-0 to Northampton this week because they were due a loss. They'd had a conversation pre-game. They went, boys, it's about time we lost a game because we won the last one. So they went out and chose to lose to one of the most boring sides in the league. They couldn't even get a goal past them. It was pathetic, but this is Plymouth Argyle. They don't lose 2 games in a row. They win, lose, draw. Wait, that means this is a draw. No, I'm going for a win. 3-2 to Green Army.
How do you beat Lincoln 4-3 and then lose to Northampton? That is absolutely nuts. But we ain't got time to talk about it. We ain't got time to dwell on it because it's Northampton Town versus Portsmouth.
We have to talk about Northampton because there's a huge 2-0 win over Plymouth.
Stop being a nasty to the Cobblers, Thomas. Stop it. Stop it. Your beloved Man United played at a dull 0-0 at the weekend.
Yeah, I know, and I didn't want to talk about it, but this is the lowest scoring team in the league and one of the most poorest defenses. They're not fun to watch, and I'm just... Yeah. But, Pompey, weird result today.
Yeah. Very, very well. Yeah, very weird, but just kind of like in keeping with them in a way, really, isn't it? It's like they kind of have these results. I think that's like two pretty shit results, really, after the back. What is it with sides that beat Oxford? What the fuck?
Every team falls apart afterwards.
It's absolutely crazy. Surely they're going to beat this Northampton side, who did have a massive win today over Plymouth. It must be said, really. Much needed victory for Northampton. I don't think they've even employed a manager yet.
I don't think they have.
Oh yeah, I know one that's out there. Lambert. Get Lambert in.
I forgot to say it, and I genuinely mean this. As much as I want Sheffield Wednesday to go down, I do wish Darren Moore all the luck in the world, because what he did do at Doncaster was really good until the end.
I don't wish him any luck at all. He's a traitor and a turncoat. I know who's going to manage Northampton. Chris Wilder. Sorry, just say your score again.
2-0.
3-0 Pompey.
Ian's home in the worst city on earth, Lincoln City, host Crewe's Alexandra.
Things are not going well for Lincoln City on the pitch. Things don't go well for the city in general. It's just been a nightmare the last few weeks. Rubbish is not being collected. Police are just down tools. Fires have just been left to burn. It is got to sort it out, imps. Got to sort it out. We're living in pure hell up here. Pure.
There's a revolution happening in the city of Lincoln.
As a man who likes to shut himself in and not talk to anyone, I'm loving it, but everyone else is hating it up here. Have the wheels come off? Is this kind of the end of the promotion campaign for Lincoln? Are they going to start going down more? Is that it for their automatic hopes now?
If we take most Oxford fans as base fans, 1 loss is rot. 2 loss is extreme crisis. This is a club in crises.
Boom, boom, boom.
I wish we had our red flashing light again.
Oh, blue flashing light, wasn't it?
Blue flashing light again. But I think that they're going to win this. Crewe have been kind of up and down recently. They get credible 1-1 draw with Blackpool. Blackpool obviously leading, as we said, but managed to somehow blow it. But Crewe have not looked like they did earlier in the season. They're still only 7 points off playoff place, but they seem to be dropping a lot of points. And we got 1 win in their last 5. I personally am going to go for a Lincoln win, but I'll let you pick your score first.
Yeah, I'm going to say we are going to see Michael Appleton, David Artell, back-to-back, walking 10-yard paces apart, turn around, draw! 1-1.
I'm going to go 2-0 to Lincoln City, which, by the way, is my first. So it's my 4th 2-0 of the week.
Sunderland. Oh, go easy on them against my beloved Rochdale.
Poor Rochdale. Now, just off the bottom of the table, 28 points, just 1 ahead of Wigan and 1 behind Northampton. It's tough times. But Ian, if you look at the playoff picture right now, and you've got Peterborough, Hull, Lincoln, Sunderland, Pompey, and Doncaster, only one side in there sticks out to me, and it's Doncaster Rovers. Sunderland seem to have really sorted their form out. They've got 4 wins in their last 5. They're back to looking like a good team. So you know what's going to happen here. They're definitely going to lose this game to Rochdale because they cannot possibly keep this up, can they?
Well, they did beat the charity club today, didn't they?
Yes.
Sunderland. They only beat the charity club 1-0, so it's not that impressive. And I know who's not in the promotion picture, Tom. Rochdale.
Yes. Firmly out of the promotion picture.
I've just had a quick look. I've just had a look. They're not. I've just had a quick look. They're not there. They're down the bottom. It's a struggle. I don't think they can go up. I honestly starting to think they're not going to get playoffs. Yeah, probably an expected loss to Hull today, and they had a man sent off. And I think they're going to have an expected loss to Sunderland because we love this score so far in Very Biased Opinions. But it's going to be 2-0 to the Mackhams.
Ian, 1-1 draw.
Oh, I'd love it. Actually love it. It'd be worth you getting 3 points for that.
Wigan Athletic versus Milton Keynes Loser Dons. Losers.
Well,
losers.
Well, they didn't.
Losers.
Technically, they didn't lose to Oxford, but it would have felt like a loss with a 97th minute equaliser. Yeah, it's just they're so weird, aren't they? They are just kind of they're mid to upper half table side, and therefore that they play really good football, but they're just so sloppy at defence. I can just imagine today the goals they conceded against Gillingham. I can imagine they were a horror show. I could just imagine like people slipping on a bar of soap, literally like fucking someone like spinning round in a circle. It's
the worst part is somebody actually did put a banana skin on the penalty spot, and they just didn't move it and waited until one of them slipped on it. Can't be trusted.
And for all the good quality attacking play that they have, they shoot themselves in the foot far too often. But I fancy them to win this game against Wigan because Wigan aren't that good. It ain't that hot, son.
No. Score.
I think it will be 3-1 to Milton Keynes.
2-0.
Oh, a rare clean sheet for the McDonald's Dons.
Indeed.
Shrewsbury Town versus Fleetwood Town.
Can't believe I actually feel bad for the Shrews, but that really good run of form they went on, they've only lost one in like their last 8 or 9, and yet they only sit 9 points above the relegation zone because all those bottom teams have randomly been picking up points. But you do get the feeling they're probably safe for the rest of the year. And you get the feeling that Fleetwood Town are also.
I was going to say that. I was going to say something about League One is when the bottom sides all win, all those sides from like that think they're safe get dragged back into it. But you just look at 38 points and 40 points for these two clubs. That does seem a lot. I know it can be. The thing about this league is it can be dragged back very quickly. But you think they should be safe. Shrewsbury got a lot of games in hand as well, so they can pick up a few points in those. But I'm not expecting this one to be very good, actually.
No, I'm not expecting a lot. Fleetwood, really good result today. 2-1 City. 2-1 victory over Lincoln City. We know Fleetwood is a good, decent side. They just don't have any goal scorers. And I've got to be honest, Ian, I'm picking my first draw of the week. I'm picking 0-0.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for a Fleetwood win. And I know I hate that on very biased opinions, but I think I'm going to go for a 1-0 Fleetwood win. After stopping a losing run, which consisted of exactly one game, we roll round to the final match. Yes, it is time for the main event.
Sitting in the home corner wearing yellow is your host, Oxford United. Hosting in the right corner wearing red, Charlton Athletic.
It's another Carl Robinson derby.
Ooh.
He had one last week. He's got one this week. No doubt he's going to be absolutely filleting Lee Bowyer in the press all week, talking about how good mates they are and what a great job he's doing. But let's talk about things on the pitch, shall we? Oxford are threadbare through injuries. You can't be serious if you're backing them in this game.
Don't ask my opinion. They're here for your opinion, Ian.
I'm just trying to help you out here, Tom. I'm trying to be a friend indeed to a friend in need, and and try and give you some advice by saying that you just can't blindly back Oxford. You're leaving points on the table here.
I'm not going to blindly back them. I'm going to back their favourite scoreline right now. 0-0.
You foolishly backed Oxford to hammer MK Dons. Then we didn't do predictions for Peterborough. You said Oxford would win 4-0. I don't know why. And now I just don't know where you're coming from. These things. It's absolutely crazy. Look at the majesty of Charlton. Do you know Charlton were in the Premier League once?
So were Oxford.
Right. Last time I saw Oxford play Charlton at the Sam Stadium, it was a fucking awesome game of football. Oxford won it 2-1. And it was just it was as good as the game I saw against Peterborough today, but it had goals in it. And Simon Eastwood got sent off as well. And Oxford just about held on to a win. I'd love it to be as entertaining. I am. There's a couple of things that worry me about Oxford at the moment. Defence is not one of them, which was the big problem we had against Charlton last time. We were going through the we don't want to mark phase of our season.
I did love that phase though, Ian. It made great view.
I'm glad you did. I'm worried about the amount of injuries that we've had. We've got that's another couple that have gone down with potentially longish term, but it could be out for 2 weeks, and that's 4 games you're going to miss. And I'm worried about the creativity from midfield. I looked at Peterborough today, and I looked at all of their sort of front line had the ability to beat a man and run in at goal, and that's something Oxford really lack. There's no one. Look, we haven't got like a McGuane because he's injured. We haven't got like a Baptiste, someone that has got that like little bit of spark and can just go around someone and drive into the penalty area. And we really do miss that. And I just worry if that's the difference between Oxford looking dangerous but not creating chances and creating chances. And but other than that, it was a good performance against Peterborough, and I expect this one to be a good game. And as we can't show any weakness and very biased opinions, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Oxford win.
That brings us through the entirety of the League One predictions. Now, normally I would ask for your Oxford United predictions, but unfortunately this is coming out after we've recorded that. So if you would like to send us an Oxford United prediction, send it for next week. Keep in mind, our Oxford United prediction show comes out tomorrow at 7:45. The day after that, we live stream at 2:45 for the Oxford versus Charlton Athletic match. After that, we'll obviously record our post-match review, so please check all of that out. And then a thank you to our Patreon subscribers. A thank you to everyone who's been super chatting us recently. Thank you just for liking, commenting, and subscribing, though. That really does mean the world to us. Leave your comments below, your predictions below. Stay safe and much love from VBO.